Hi, and welcome back to part 2 of how I make a full-time living as a wax melt maker and small business owner. I'm the owner of the Starlight Corner, where we make all these wax melts you see here and lots more. In part 1, I got really transparent about how much work it actually takes to become and be a wax melt maker, and it is a lot of work. As stated before, you have to make a ton of wax in order to make a profit and therefore a living off of doing what I do. And I would love to talk about some ways that I got to that point and some more ways on how I make more money outside of just making wax so that it is worth my time. So when you're in the beginning stages of this work, you obviously want to make sure that you have a very, very good quality product, that your wax melts are throwing, that they're strong, that they last a long time, that they are cute, that somebody like you who loves wax melts is also going to want to buy from you. You also want to factor in shipping. You want to make sure that your items ship properly, that they don't break, that they don't melt, that they don't smudge, that your packaging is on point before you get started. Now, once you have this baseline set and you are ready to start selling, then you're going to start posting online as much as you possibly can. Take all the pictures, take as many videos as you can, post everywhere, and do it to the point where you think that you're annoying, and then do it more, because that's really the secret. And I did not do this when I first started. It took me years and years to get my name out there, and I finally, a couple years back, decided that I was just not going to care what people thought, and people were already saying things anyway, so it didn't matter at that point. I was already doing what I loved, and I wanted to be successful at it, and I wanted to provide for my family, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And don't listen to whatever anyone says about how silly or little or cute your business is. It's a big deal because it's a big deal to you, and you are gonna benefit from putting yourself out there as much as possible. And it's going to be really hard at first, and it's going to feel horrible at first, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe you're already super confident and you got this. In that case, you're a step ahead of me when I first started. I also started a Facebook group. Our Starlight Corner Facebook group has been around for almost as long as my business has been, and I think there's around 2,000 people in there now, which is great. So great if you have a business where there's a community of people who actually genuinely want to be there and want to support you. And my Facebook group has been the main source of income for us as a business, because of all the wonderful people who have supported us through everything. I mean, they have been up and down through all of our changes and stuck around. Those are the people who have lasted the test of time. So now that you have an amazing product, you have a website, you have a workspace, you have all your social media platforms that you're trying to post as much as possible on, you have a Facebook group, and you're starting a community from scratch, you're just going to feed that precious baby of yours until it starts giving back. And I promise you, if you put in the work and the effort, it will come to you. It will just slowly start to grow and become its own. You will start to grow as a maker, and it's not going to be perfect at first. Your videos and pictures are not going to be perfect at first, but even just the practice of doing it, you're going to get better and better naturally. So not only will you be growing, but your customer base will be growing with you, and it's really quite a beautiful thing, because it's an experience. When you shop with a small business, it's an experience. When you are a small business owner, it's an experience. It's very, very fulfilling. And when you put that effort in and it starts to pay back, you're going to feel your heart's going to be so full. Now, I will say it is hard to make it as a wax melt business owner, because the profit margins are very small. And this is where things got a little bit more complicated, as I said in the first video, where I have a family of 6. And while if it was just me, I would probably be fine on the salary or the yearly income that we have right now. But because of having responsibilities and people to take care of, I do other things in order to make this business a profitable business. In the previous video, I mentioned that we have a Patreon, which generates around $200 extra a month for our small business. So thank you to our Patreon members for making that happen. And I hope that you're having a great time in our Patreon. So now that I had this baseline of having a good product and all this, I had my customer following, this is how I attempt to not have to pour 10 to 15 cases of wax a month, because that is way too much for my body to handle when it comes to pouring, packaging, all of the social media, all of that is so much of a juggle. It gets to be way too much. So here is how I do it. I have a YouTube channel, the one that you're watching it on now. And this has helped me just a little bit on supplies and stuff like that because it's monetized. Now, I only started this YouTube channel like 2 years ago, and I only really started posting like a year and a half ago. And as soon as I started posting, it was like really slow at first, and then all of a sudden something took off. So I found some things that's really set my business apart, especially on social media. And once those things clicked, I went full force and started posting those things more and more. The things that people wanted to see, I started posting. So that finally got my YouTube channel monetized. This month is a really, really slow month for me. I've only made around $20 this month so far, but there are other months where it could have a viral video and I'll get, $300 for it. And I'm hoping that these longer videos take off because they generate even more money for the business than the shorts do. And usually it's really the shorts that really take off for me right now, but I'm trying to pivot and change that for my business and for my family. So thank you if you've gotten this far. I really appreciate it. And I've done other things like my TikTok is also monetized. It's not very much, but it is something. And that really, really helps, and it's very achievable for anyone. If you have something interesting that you make that stands out from other people, if you're creative, then it's likely that you have something that people want to see. And find that thing that sets you apart. Find that thing that you love to make, and you can make 1,000 different versions of it. And put yourself out there. Do not be scared. And if you are scared, do it scared. I do it to this day. I'm still scared when I post a video. I'm still scared when I post things to my website and think that it's not going to sell, but they will. Just have faith. I would love to go over more things with you guys. I would love to see questions. I only had a couple questions, so I'm just trying to elaborate more on that last question. But I really appreciate your time here and that you spent this time supporting us and this channel. And if you're a customer, just thank you from our hearts. I did want to mention that we're in a time of our lives right now where my husband does not work. He watches our children full time from home, and it's a huge, huge blessing that I will never take for granted, that we are all at home in one place with our 4 kids, spending so much quality time together because of all these huge changes that have been happening in our lives recently. And if I can share this and help someone else achieve this level of fulfillment and what is in my eyes success, being able to do what I love every day and be home with my family at the same time, raising our kids, it would mean the world to me if I could help other people do this. So thank you for all that you do, and thank you for watching this video and watching me work. And I would love to get into more about how I run this business and the behind the scenes of it all. And I will see you in the next one. Okay, love you guys. Bye.